Without a ball, it's just a court. Without your spirit, it's only a game. So together with the fans, we bring our best.
Hennessy is excited to celebrate the intersection of basketball with art, music, and fashion. Each of these elements of culture represent ways that fans, players, supporters pay homage to the game, both on and off the court.
Hennessy and Mitchell and us have come together for the ultimate drop, a limited edition collection to mark their shared love for basketball culture and to celebrate Hennessy's continued partnership with the league.
The exclusive collection will have a limited drop available for both in retail and online and will be featured on the Hennessy Arena Tour, making stops in
San Francisco, Saturday, March 9th, Dallas, Sunday, March 17th,
Atlanta, Saturday, March 30th.
Come see Club 520 podcast taped live in each city.
For your next pregame, let's share a twist on the classic, the Hennessy Margarita.
A squeeze of fresh lime juice
And a bit of agave syrup, top it off with some ice and a salted rim.
Mix it, shake it, pour it.
and enjoy the spirit of the NBA.
Hennessy, without your spirit, it's only a game. 21 and over only.
Please drink responsibly.
Subscribe to our YouTube, Club 520. We clowning on that mother.
Just hit the button.
God.
Don't ask more questions.
Subscribe.
All right, we back. Another episode of Club 520 Podcast. I'm the host. My name is DJ Wells. Special guest in the building to my left. We're going to introduce my man's last, but to my far left, we got my dog, Bishop B. here, not the Pearlies. How you up, man?
Long weekend, Nasty. We had a good time this weekend. But yeah, I appreciate y'all. And I'm here. Thank God for another day above ground.
That's like the people who send Grand Rising text. That's what you just gave us on the podcast.
Amen.
Fuck out of here. To my right, my dog, Young Nacho, Young Teague. How you up, man?
I'm good, man. Another special guest, another legend in the building.
A legend in the
Every
building.
time I look at my phone, I get an alert. Back when I was playing, I used to be scared as hell. But now, man, it's all good stuff, man. So I'm so happy to have my guy in the building. I'm going to let you do the introduction part.
For sure. Look, if you watch basketball, if you watch sports, you know who this man is. You know what I'm saying? He sets the timeline ablaze, good and bad. He's always got the information we need, man. None other than the legendary NBA insider. Shams, appreciate you pulling the 520, big dog. How you doing,
appreciate you guys.
Well,
Appreciate
bro.
you guys having me.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Right
it's
on,
all
bro.
love. It's all love. Appreciate you guys having me on. You know, I covered Jeff as a player, covered his teams. So to see him on the other side now, doing his thing with the podcast, I know he's come on my show, FanDuel Run It Back as well. I think Jeff's got a long trek here.
Oh, man, appreciate that.
Second act.
So how is it crazy for you to him to have interviews with you and barely talking now you see him on the podcast? Now you feel like you mad you didn't get that content?
I mean, Jeff saved himself for when it mattered most, and that's the second half, the second act of his career. So I think he played it smart. He left a lot of people hanging on every word now because they didn't know any of these stories before.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's letting them go. And you know, I've worked with a lot of former players, right? Chandler Parsons, Lou Williams. They do my FanDuel TV show now.
Shout out to the gang.
Our show's great. And then Jeff's come on. We got Vince Carter on different times. I've done stuff with Amon Shumpert, a bunch of guys. But it was crazy is they're all so different. They're all so unique. And they all have these different experiences that they can speak to. And I think Jeff is obviously one of the main guys, I think, now that's able to speak eloquently and bring up like past experiences and then tie it into what's going on now.
I think that's one thing that people say a lot about is too many podcasts, but a lot of things our community appreciates is the NBA podcast because we get to see a lot of background stories to a lot of different stuff. You like, I think I know this, I thought I know this, and then you can hear somebody talk about it, and that make you respect a performance or a situation or reaction so much better.
So Jeff, my thing is, when did you know late in your career, like once I'm done playing, I know I got a bunch of stories in the can right now?
Nah, I always told these stories. This was like me every day.
But this is just your boys.
Yeah, we always talk like this. And one day we was doing a podcast. They did a podcast before me. I forgot what it was called. What was it called?
That's an opinion.
Oh, I'm just playing.
R.I.P.
I'm just joking. I knew what it was called.
R.I.P.
Nah, but we they had a podcast before, and I came on their show, and basically they was like, "Yo, just tell us some stories. Like, what's the league like?" And I was like, "Dang, that kind of worked." And I wanted to be a part of their team.
Beautiful.
That was some hating ass shit.
Yeah, it was funny. Yeah.
You still enjoyed Death Row either way.
Oh yeah, the facts, but
Nah.
Well, obviously, man, we know what you do now, but how did you get started?
So, you know, growing up, I loved the NBA. Like, I loved playing basketball. Like, in my mind, in my dream, I would have loved to be where Jeff is at, right? Playing basketball, playing the NBA. But obviously that's a very, very scarce job, position, league. I mean, you guys are 400 of the best, 450 of the best to do it. It's such a scarce company, if you want to call it that. So once I got cut early in high school, sophomore year, I'm like, I'm not playing on my team. I got to figure out what I'm going to do. And I remember my English teacher that year told me, you should write for the school newspaper. You're a good writer. You have passion with basketball. So I just combined both of my passions. I started writing a lot, wrote for the school newspaper. From that, I was writing a Bulls blog because I grew up in Chicago. So I did a Bulls blog. And from there, went to Real GM. I want to say junior, senior year of high school. This is all in high school. So sophomore year of high school. Then around junior, senior year, I started RealGM.com, where to me, like, that was the pinnacle. Like, Real GM and Hoops Hype, I would always be refreshing. Like, I was obsessed with, like, news and behind-the-scenes stuff. Like, I would always wonder, like, are we going to get, like, Jeff? You know, are we going to trade for Jeff? What are we doing? I remember one year at the trade deadline, they were rumored, the Bulls, to maybe get, like, TJ Ford. So I was like refreshing Hoops Hype and Real GM. Like, are we gonna get TJ Ford? Are we gonna get TJ Ford? Yeah. I don't think we got TJ Ford. But point being, I was obsessed with that. And if a team was doing bad, I'm like, why is this team struggling? If a team's doing really well or a player's doing really well, I was always inquisitive. I wanted to know why guys are playing well, why teams aren't playing well. So I think, like, now I think about who I'm catering to, the fan. I feel like I was that fan growing up. Like, I was that obsessed person. Like, if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I would still be obsessed with all this stuff anyway. So now I'm just in a position where I can actually try to get to the news first and, you know, quench my own thirst while also, you know, help, you know, serving the fans and the audience. So yeah, that's a long story short. After Real GM, Yahoo Sports for 3 years, and now I'm at the Athletic Stadium, Vandal TV.
Everywhere. You know what's crazy? Real ones know about realgm.com. If you need any stat information, I'm solving every basketball argument. I'm not talking to you.
My guy knows.
Real GM.
My
Stop
guy
talking
knows.
to me. We pulling it up. We get straight to it. Ain't no back and forth about it. Now, like you said, you had a crazy journey, but I gotta ask you, you know what I'm saying? You do this for a living. What's the one story, the one drop? He was like, damn, I wish I got this 10 minutes earlier. Or damn, I got this 2 minutes earlier.
I feel like that happens like every year. Like, I could have pointed to 2, 3 at the deadline, you know, even. Like, but it's always about when you feel 100% comfortable. Like, that's the fine line that you know, I feel like I'm towing every day, right? Like, you get so many different things thrown at you. Like, around trade deadline week, I probably had 500 different scenarios that I was thinking in my mind or I had written down in my notepad. And how many of those actually happened? I mean, Jeff knows. I mean, Jeff you played in the league. Like, when you're on a team, so many different things. It's all fluid day to day. And that's why when I was a fan growing up, when I was growing up, I would hear players say, "Oh man, I'm taking it one day at a time. Oh, I'm just worried about today." That's it. And I'm like, man, that's BS. But then now you see the league, you're around the league, and you're even in this field in general. You're working in general. You could be doing whatever you're doing. You could be my mom's a nurse. Shout out to my mom. She's a nurse. She's taking day to day. You know, we're all day to day as far as our mentality. Things can change at any given moment. Everything is always, you know, fluid.
For sure. You said you grew up in Chicago, so I imagine you watched Derrick Rose, like, MVP year.
Yeah.
And you did the, you know, content for the Bulls, basically. What was that year like, seeing D Rose?
So that was 2010-11. That was, I think, my junior year of high school. I mean, it was insane. I mean, I know you played against him.
Yeah.
Did you play with him too?
No, I played with him in Minnesota.
In Mini, yeah.
But in Chicago, at that moment, like, when you used to go around Chicago,
he was that dude. And the crazy part is, you know, getting to know him just a little bit and interviewing him a few times. He's always stayed true to, like, who he is as a person. Like, he never was someone that was trying to push himself out there for attention and try to be for the lights. Like, I think he always stayed true to the game. And then that year in general, I mean, that team, the way he carried them on a night-to-night basis, I know people can debate, like, statistically, you know. I see it now. People are like, LeBron, he stole the MVP from LeBron. Like, LeBron should win MVP. But, like, if you get the number one seed out of nowhere, the way he did it, and he was carrying that team, 6'2", 6'3" point guard, and to me, you got to say he was the most athletic guy
Oh, easy. Him and Russ for sure.
Him and Russ have to be the most
Yeah.
athletic guys at that position ever.
And he dominated.
He
Like,
was
they
dominated. Yeah, he was dominating. And his vision.
I think John Wall. Hold on, not John Morant.
You got to put him up there too. You got to probably have a little bit more of a. I guess we've seen it.
Yeah,
but I want to see more of it. I want to see it in the playoffs.
He got to go a little. Yeah, I got
But D Rose led that team to the conference finals.
Yeah.
I think they took a 1-0 series lead, and I think they were up in game 2.
Yeah.
And I remember, growing up, I'm like, yeah, if they win this, you're up 2-0 on the Heat. And the whole thing was he didn't. Supposedly, he wanted to lead the team himself with Luol Deng, Joakim Noah, and those guys. So I think with him, it's always been about he's always stayed true to himself. Yeah. And just that season, I mean, you got to say he dominated. He dominated everyone.
Sure. No, he definitely did.
That was interesting when you said John Morant because he is up there in that list. But I think a lot of people forget like how athletic Russell Westbrook was. And his prime was a very long time period. I know the last couple of years, the Lakers stuff, we kind of see Russ a little bit older, but OKC Russ in his prime, there was nobody as physical, as big as he was.
And he was power dunking.
Yes.
Two hands at all times. Yeah, he was power dunking. D Rose was too, but D Rose would sometimes he would dunk in positions and like angles that you wouldn't even expect him to get to. Russ was just
brute force.
Yeah.
Like I put it like this: Russ was like a Hellcat. He had straight power. And D Rose like a Ferrari. They both got beautiful engines, both fast, both can move. But
I gotta put John Wall up there too, bro. When you said John Wall, it made me think early John Wall. He was like that. He just wasn't on TV enough.
He was fast as hell though. You would have to say he was probably was he faster than all those other guys?
Nah.
No.
They all was
the
like
fastest?
the same speed.
Same speed.
Like John Wall's the fastest player I ever played was De'Aaron Fox.
I can see that.
He fast.
That's crazy.
I told you he retired. He too damn fast.
Yeah.
But like Russell Westbrook, he fast as shit. But he was so much power. But like D Rose was that fast, but he could move like
fast and quick.
Yeah.
You played against all of them in their prime.
Yeah.
Who do you think was the toughest?
Toughest to guard was D Rose. Russ was just relentless. Like you be like, all right, man. Like fuck. Like he's a dog. You know he gonna kill, but he would shoot 40 of them.
Yeah.
And not think 1 second. Like D Rose was like, I'm gonna kill you when I need to kill you. I get everybody else involved. And then his points like hurt.
Yeah.
Russ was like, I'm gonna get 70. If I can get 70, I'm getting 70. I don't care if KD on the wing. I don't care if he here. I'll shoot this motherfucker every time. Man.
Yeah.
That was him.
The thing about D Rose that year too, his midi was on point.
Mm-hmm.
There was a stretch, a couple years where his midi was elite. And Russ too. I think Russ had a stretch in OKC.
Oh yeah.
His midi was tough.
That hash pull-up was crazy.
Unguardable with a hard stop.
And I think that's what separated those two guys from the pack. I think those years when you have the mid-range shot going like that, when you can get to the basket as easily as those two guys could.
And D Rose floater. That floater was
that
crazy.
floater was tough.
Nah,
You think D Rose floater fucking with Tony Parker's?
Tony Parker's the best guard finisher in
In the
NBA
paint.
history. He never missed layups. If you go watch,
Never missed layups.
I didn't want to cut
never-
you off. Over Kyrie?
Bro, go look at Tony Parker. One year he was
mentioned
shooting
him.
60%.
No, I
In the
mentioned
paint.
him. I just
As a guard is crazy.
And Kyrie is my favorite player of all time. I think what make it different with TP is because, Kyrie is finishing around the rim. Tony was hitting them like 14-foot floaters, bro, off half spins. That's a
I
tough
respect
shot.
it. That's why I mentioned it.
Tony
though.
Parker couldn't shoot. Well, eventually he grew to have a jumper. Kyrie could shoot. So him getting to the basket is a little easier because you got to respect his three ball. Like he got a total midi,
No, I
all
get
that.
what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
back up off Tony Parker. Like, man,
And he was still hitting this.
And he still getting to the basket, making layups.
Man, do you guys remember the finals in San Antonio where he had that crazy layup that
Bro,
no business. You have no one probably in NBA history could make the layup
Bro,
that he
he-
made.
Bro, he
No,
was
for sure.
unbelievable around the paint, bro. He never missed layups.
Yeah. I got a question though. Since you've been doing this at a high level, what's your favorite trade so far?
Favorite trade?
She was like, damn, that team really won.
And I'm going to piggyback on that too. Where you got the scoop, where you broke it.
Man, that's tough.
My bad.
There's a
Sean.
lot.
My
There's
fault,
a
bro.
lot. There's a lot.
Nah, yeah.
You could just say a random one, bro.
There's a lot. I mean, it's just being in the middle of Like I'll give you an example. Like when Minnie traded Jimmy to Philly,
That was nuts.
and I remember I think you guys were in Sacramento.
Where we was at? Yep.
You guys were in Sac, and I believe you guys obviously lost that game.
Yep.
Not because of you. Not because.
Nah, it was probably me. But
That's crazy.
It definitely probably was me.
Well, like I said, obviously y'all
Let
lost.
Minnesota tell it.
No.
Let Minnesota tell it. It was me.
It definitely wasn't you. The problems were way deeper than just
Hell no.
JT. Let's be real. Let's
just
now.
blame him anyway. It's more fun.
Let's be real.
It was me.
But I remember I was I'll say this story. So I live in the suburbs of Chicago, right? I've never moved to the city, but I was looking at an apartment in the city, and we were going through the tour of the apartment, and I get a text saying Jimmy is about to get traded to Philadelphia. It's close, and I think you guys had just lost the night before in Sac, and like this is what lets you know that like you could be anywhere, any given moment. So I'm on this apartment tour. I look down at my phone, and I left. I left the tour.
Dang.
Like I never went back. I never bought that apartment. It's just bad omen. You get news, have to leave the tour, you can't go back. So I remember I left that, and then you see the whole terms, and I feel like that's also a major what if around the NBA. You have to say,
Yeah.
because that team in Philly, I mean, they had Ben, they had Jimmy, they had
Embiid.
Embiid,
Tobias.
Jimmy, and then later in the year they traded for Tobias.
Yeah.
So their group, man,
And JJ was there too, wasn't he?
Yep.
coming off the bench.
Yeah, they had a whip.
TJ McConnell
Yeah.
coming off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Coming off the bench.
TJ
My
Nash.
favorite pacer.
Lord Jesus.
But, I don't, maybe it's just because I think of Jeff, That's the only one that comes to my mind. But
Nah, I remember we was on the plane when it happened, and Jimmy, we all on the plane. So imagine getting
Jimmy was on the plane
traded.
too?
Yeah, imagine getting traded while you on the plane, but we in
back to Minnie. You guys were back to Minnie.
yeah, back to Minnesota. So we got like a 3-hour flight,
Yeah.
and they tell you at the beginning of the flight. So we all on the plane like, dang. And I'm a jerk. So I'm like, who they trade for? And they like, we got Robert Covington and Dario. I said, what the fuck? Y'all traded Jimmy for them? Like, no disrespect to Dario and Rob. I
Yeah,
like
shout out
y'all.
to Rob.
But I
C,
was
man.
like, man, y'all playing.
Two great pros, by the way.
Shout out to
Two
Rogue
great-
Nation.
Oh, for
Wonderful
sure.
Professional
guys.
players. Two great
Wonderful
professional
guys.
players.
I love both of them.
Jimmy Butler. That's
Come on, bro.
all
I was
NBA.
like, what we doing, bro?
I know that's your guy though. I know
Yeah,
that's
but
your
I'm
guy.
like, y'all sabotaging me, bro.
Yeah.
Minnesota already hate me.
We're
Like, y'all
taking
gonna
with
trade our
Teague.
best player, bro. Like, come on,
Taking
bro.
with Teague. for sure.
Yeah. Take it with Teague.
The road and the ever.
The real double T's. Look, I'm like,
TT.
nah, y'all can know where y'all traded them from. All the people we could have traded Jimmy
Nah,
for.
facts. That's
You
true.
could have got a legit star for Jimmy.
That's
Butler.
crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what I think about when I think about I think about where I am. Like if I have to leave a situation, if I'm like on a family trip in the summer, like there have been times, I'll be like my family will take like a quick trip like to like the Grand Canyon or something in August. August and September are usually the times
Yeah.
when you play in the league where you try to get away right before Labor Day or into Labor Day. And I remember once I was at the Grand Canyons and I get a text, that John Wall, he was going to sign an extension or something with Washington, major extension. I left. There was like a library. In those mountains, they don't have any connection. You have to go to the library with spotty Wi-Fi connection. So I remember I left. I went to this library. They took a little shuttle, 15-minute shuttle. Went there. That's my dedication. You guys have to be in the lab. I have to be in my lab.
Gotta watch you though, Shams. You a little sneaky, bro.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were-
leaving.
You be dropping them bombs at like 1 a.m. You wake up like, what the fuck?
I would have had to miss that one. I'd be like, I got John Wall in the morning, man. We know he's staying in Washington.
I'll give you a sleep one. So remember when Kawhi Leonard got traded to Toronto?
Oh, that's a good one.
That broke at like 2-3 in the morning. The crazy part is it was like 1:30 in the morning. I was done on my couch. I think I woke up like maybe around 2 and I saw my phone and it was about the trade. And I look on Twitter, it wasn't out. I was stunned. 30 minutes is eternity.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I could have missed it. I could have been, So you never know where you are. So that's the thing that comes out to me is like you name a trade, hopefully I've broken, if I've been on it, I usually know where I am, when it happens, especially if there's a good story behind it.
Now I gotta ask you this question: how do you feel about people complaining about, and they kind of like tapered it off this last year about the draft announcements. When there was like, don't tweet before the pick actually shows. I'm just like, that's their job, right?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, if I have information, if I have the ability to get to information, I'm going to do what I can. Also, I have a live show as well that I'm doing on my own that streams on Twitter that, it's updating live. Like, like on Stadium, we do live updates of, so we're basing off whatever I'm tweeting, not really what's on air per se or what's going on at Barclays. So all I do is focus on the information I get. It's like we're kind of the ones that tell the draft.
I wish I would have did that when I was coming out. Because I was at home sweating. I wish I would have got a tweet like, yeah, they picking you next. I would have been a lot easier for me because, man, I was going through it on my draft night. But I was going to talk about the trade that I think was the most equal trade ever. Was the Tyrese Haliburton and Domantas Sabonis. Yeah. I think that was like perfect for both teams. I don't think it's ever been a trade as equal, I would say. Like when I think about it, like they both got 2 superstars, I would say. All-star superstars, whatever. Pacers needed Tyrese and the Kings needed him. I think that might be the most even trade in NBA history.
I agree. It's definitely up there, but shout out to the Sacramento Kings for giving us Tyrese Haliburton. I still appreciate y'all. Y'all are near to my heart for giving us a franchise point guard because we did not have one.
Both teams won with that.
For sure.
The Kings I think the Kings need a big man. For sure. So De'Aaron could just be the guy. I think anytime you have a player's talent as Tyrese, you kind of have to decide, like, are we going to give the keys to De'Aaron? Are we going to give the keys to Tyrese? They went all in with De'Aaron, and then you get an all-star big. I mean, Sabonis' numbers this year are crazy. He should have been an all-star somehow, some way. Like,
you got robbed,
both of them. Fox should have been one. Yeah.
Sacramento, is that a bad market? Or is it obviously it's a small market team? People not seeing them enough. It's kind of like the Trae Young effect where you're not watching them enough to really see that these numbers are actually like them getting buckets, not just numbers.
I think possibly that, but I mean, there have been times this year where they've struggled too. Over the course of the year, I think record-wise, they're right on pace as last season. I think there's you expected them maybe to take another step, but they've also had injuries. Deep Fox missed a little bit of time. I think the struggles help as far as that. But I mean, Sabonis' numbers are nuts, and De'Aaron. I know De'Aaron's gone through a little bit of struggles as well the last 15 games. I'm not worried about him come playoff time. I mean, we saw him last year. The performances he had on the fractured finger or whatever. Like He's a beast. But no, I mean, Sacramento, I went there actually for game 1 against the Warriors, their first playoff game in 17 years. That place, that might have been the best environment of a non-finals game I've ever been to.
Damn.
As far as how rowdy that crowd was, how much anticipation there was, how hype everyone was going in. And the arena's beautiful. So I think Sacramento's building, do they need a third piece though?
Yes.
Who though? Who would you see in Sacramento?
They went after Pascal Siakam. They went after OG Anunoby. They missed on both. Do you try to go get Kyle Kuzma in the summer? Who would you try to get if you're Sac?
I don't think Kyle put them over the hip because I think Keegan Murray can develop to be as good a contributor as Kyle would be for that team.
Keegan Murray is nice.
And he looks like he's soft spoken. Like you gotta. Sometimes the coach might have to push him a little bit to.
I don't know what they need.
They could use a wing, but you got to get rid of a couple pieces.
Harrison's coming off the books soon, I think.
He's got 2 years after this year.
Oh, never mind. Sorry, they're gonna have to make a trade there.
You gotta get rid of them.
I'm trying to think who they could get.
That's the one position. That's even for the Pacers. It's that one that elite 3 is the final piece in every real like big 3 situation in the league because you got a lot of elite point guards. If you're lucky to have a good bit, you gotta have that elite wing to compete.
I used to want them to have Zach LaVine, but I just don't think Zach. I don't know. I used to be like, man, they play
Zach needs to get healthy. That's the biggest thing, man. Hopefully,
that's a good call though, bro.
Hopefully, he can get healthy next season. Next season obviously got to be a bounce back year. And Lonzo Ball, making progress. Let's see if he can come back. I think Lonzo Ball is very much hoping and aiming to come back next season.
I hope he plays.
How far he does, man. That's one of the few guys like. We love, like, he's one of the areas that we saw, like, LaMelo, like, Lonzo was always cold. He went through some scrutiny with the Lakers, you know how that goes. But he's one of the people, like, we want to see Lonzo hoop because he played the right way and he's cool.
Well, I'll say some news on. I mean, he's back on the court. He's
That's what's up, man.
not to it takes a while to really ramp up, but he's doing some spot shooting, a little bit of light jogging, light walking, light running. But that's not stuff that he was cleared to do, ready to do on his last couple.
Yeah.
He would start and stop. He would get going and then he would get pain again. But now he's able to at least get to the point where he's on the court. You're doing a little bit of jogging, a little bit of moving around. And he wasn't there a year ago. He couldn't physically. So now he's back to that point.
He was going to take off like Brandon Ingram, I think, if he didn't have those injuries.
Yeah.
But
What about like Chicago? Speaking of the Bulls, what do you think they do with DeMar? You think they're going to extend him?
I think they've discussed an extension.
Yeah.
And I think now the thing with the Bulls is being competitive is important to that organization, to that franchise. And you have to say, since they went all in with Kobe White, since Zach LaVine's been hurt, I mean, I think they're 6-7 games over 500. Like they've played better. And the thing last season, some of these games they weren't even in.
No,
They were getting blown out. Now they're competing on a night-to-night basis.
Yeah.
And you have to give DeMar a lot of credit for that, Vucevic a lot of credit for that. And Kobe White, I mean, I don't know, who's your guys' most improved player?
Him,
this year?
definitely.
Kobe White?
Kobe White, definitely.
Kobe White, that's not a bad call. I'm going to
Bro,
He's averaging, what, 20 points a
20,
game?
went from 12 to 20. Starter, playing well.
And,
like,
it's come out of nowhere. And it was like, once Zach got hurt, you saw his numbers went skyrocketing.
And you know what's crazy? Because like you said, he had a shaky moment in the beginning of the season. He got the opportunity and just really been going crazy. That chemistry is really high too, you can tell.
And I think that's what makes people think like, but again, Chicago fans, I'm sure, like, blow it up. But it's like, if you're not going to get real offers for DeMar DeRozan, real offers, you can probably trade DeMar, but like, what do you, like you said with the other trade we just discussed, like, what are you trading a DeMar DeRozan for? Is that going to keep you competitive? Is that going to keep you in it? So you can at least compete at a high level. And no one was really giving up good draft picks for a guy that's going to be a free agent in the summer. So my sense is they're going to go into the offseason. We'll see what happens the rest of the year, but I think they're going to want to see what they can get done with DeMar DeRozan long term.
DeMar deserves to be on a contender or a team contender, for sure. He's been in the league a little bit. Yeah.
Facts. I don't know where I want to see him play. I don't want him being with the Lakers.
Nah, don't do that.
I don't want him to go to the Lakers.
What do you think about like a team like Miami?
He'd be fire with Miami.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
perfect.
They won't shoot no threes.
To me,
Jimmy, no threes.
that's kind of hard though, because I don't know, y'all, because what about Tyler Hero too?
He gonna play, but Tyler Hero is one of those guys. He's playing well actually. He's been really good.
He has been.
But
You think all three of them could mesh?
yeah. One thing about
Okay, I was
Jimmy,
asking.
Jimmy know how to make everybody better, and he don't mind taking a back row. When he got to beat a dog, he can beat a dog. And DeMar the same way. When he was in San Antonio, he was literally like a point forward almost.
Yeah,
Like, he was
he
running
did
point
everything.
guard. He was doing everything. Tyler Hero get buckets.
That's what you said, Kobe White, though. One of my choices for most improved, Jalen Williams.
Got to put him up there.
Like, OKC.
This is his second season?
Yeah, second season. And he's going crazy.
Insane. I
Going
mean,
crazy.
He's balling. I saw him yesterday, actually. It was crazy. I interviewed him in the summer. We were talking about fashion. That was the crux of the interview.
Yeah.
And I remember we both looked at each other. I think if we do an interview now, the topic's changed.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Are you gonna be an all-star next year? That's what the topic gonna be.
And what's so fire about OKC, and then you look at other places who, like even so much with Cleveland last year, like rebuilding fast in the NBA is like a trend. It's not waiting no more. That's like, even with the Pacers, like us going to get Pascal was just like, oh, we really actually found the trend now, because nowadays them young teams, they're not young long. You get your pieces that you can ride with and you figure out how to fill the slot, and you can have a rebuild year in 18 months. How is that like now with the drafting process? Is that weighing in on how draft picks are valued now, the way that people are rebuilding?
I mean, it's just now you either are going to hoard your draft picks or you're going to use them, right? Like, so Indy went all in. You know, they didn't. The thing with Indy is they didn't value this year's draft.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the crux of it. So they didn't value as high as to be like, we'll move these 3 firsts to go get Pascal Siakam, and they did it. Teams like OKC, I mean, they got one of the more talented young rosters, but they also have like 30 draft picks. I want to say they got 10 first-round picks they can trade, a bunch of seconds, obviously, a bunch of swaps they can trade. And that's why they made a trade with Dallas on deadline day that went overlooked. They gave up one of their 2024 first round. I think they had a couple. One of their 2024 first round picks to Dallas for a future pick swap. They didn't even get a future first. They get pick swap, unprotected pick swap. So that's Sam Presti being like, listen, we got enough young players here. We're gonna give up one of our first round picks coming up soon because it's like, what are you gonna do with one more rookie scale guy on this roster?
Nothing.
So give up that pick, and then we'll see if we want to swap like 4 or 5 years from now, 3 years from now, if we need that. So I think what they're building right now is you got to give them credit. And at the deadline, they get Gordon Hayward. And I think the Gordon Hayward pickup is good because he's a vet. He plays the right way. But let's say you have a guy with has an injury, but there's foul trouble down the stretch of a playoff game. Like, who better to throw in there? Or someone might be struggling.
Yep.
Who better to throw in there than Gordon Hayward?
Reliable vet.
In that type of moment.
And he literally is like perfect fit for their team because he played just how they play. They all play with 6'8" wings. Like Jalen Williams plays the 4. You know what I mean? Gordon Hayward's the same size as him. They all like play positionless basketball basically because Shet, he a center, but
He really a PG.
he a small forward really. Like he can shoot, dribble, all that. So their team is just like a perfect plan. They play like I play on 2K. For real, everybody can pass, everybody can shoot, everybody can dribble the ball. So
Now, another interesting situation we got monitored for next year. The Pelicans, I can't believe it, but they're really thinking that they have to choose between Brandon Ingram and Zion next year.
You think?
I think so.
Why can't you pay them both?
You can afford it.
do they?
But they're the Pelicans.
Do you think they because Zion, right, his contract can be voided now, right?
They're not gonna void.
I mean, not obviously
Yeah.
not. That'll be crime.
I mean,
Like-
he's played. He's played.
No,
played
yes,
this
but I
season.
was just saying, like,
They got him off the internet. That's all that was. They was trying to scare him off the internet.
Yeah, I
He got
guess
off the
so.
internet, everything cool again.
oh, yes,
Because Freaky said he gonna meet those weight requirements for sure.
You call him Freaky Zeke? Is that the nickname? you
Oh,
gave him?
no, he ain't earned the full name yet.
Oh, okay, I
Just
got
Freaky
you.
Z.
Yeah, just Freaky Z for that. Freaky Zion. He get a real nickname later.
Big Yay boys.
Nah, but they gotta.
What
they
do you
gotta-
think about their team, Jeff? Do you think that with those two guys and CJ, you can, like they called on DeJounte Murray trade deadline week. They looked at different packages, mostly around the young player that they were looking at, Dyson Daniels potentially. Atlanta wanted Herb Jones, and that was a sticking
Herb
point.
Jones, man.
And New Orleans didn't want to move Herb Jones from what I was
Nah,
told.
he's a valuable piece though.
And so.
Yeah.
He cold.
And that's it's such a fine line because New Orleans is like, listen, if we can bring in DeJounte Murray while keeping our core, of course we want to do that.
Beautiful.
But the moment you have to give up a member of your core, it's like, is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Does it really make us better? Does it push over the top? Would you have given up Herb Jones for DeJounte Murray?
Yeah, I think because DeJounte's still young and he a two-way player. He plays hard, but it gives him another ball handler because I know CJ he can play point, but he's not a natural point guard. DeJounte. He's the two-way combo guard, but I just give him another ball handler. Herb Jones is a defender, shooter.
He's a defender first.
Yeah.
He gonna be a piece that really
but I
help our
think-
team.
I think you can get another one of him. Like,
Another Herb?
yeah, I think you can. I think you can find another lone defender. I mean, Miami do it every year. They find somebody.
Miami's just, they're
Yeah.
scouting. You got to give their scouting
Their
department a lot of
scouting
credit.
crazy. So I think you can find a guy like him. Not saying he's not a valuable player. He definitely is. The reason that my Hawks want him, but
Yeah, he cold.
Man.
you can find another guy like him.
Oh,
Hey, don't do
shit.
that, bro. We rebuilding.
No, I had a
The
We
Hawks.
about, they about to trade Trae Young though.
Oh, we
I
got
made
a
that
club.
up.
We got a club 520 prediction.
Nah, I made that up. But
the real Shams.
he probably want to go though. I'm sure he wants to go to San Antonio.
Ooh, that's.
Nah, bro.
I was.
Why wouldn't he?
I can
bro?
see
to
LA,
play with
but-
Wemby.
To play with Wemby is cool.
Him and
but
Wemby will be. That'd be
But
ridiculous.
going to live from Atlanta to San Antonio is crazy.
He's from Oklahoma.
Touche.
You didn't play for Quinn, did you?
Yeah, I played with Quinn his first year in Atlanta.
And then in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Do you think Quinn wants to rebuild?
Nah, Quinn like to win.
That's what I'm
one thing.
saying.
He
So-
likes
so-
to win.
So if you're Quinn, from everything I hear, the Quinn Trae relationship's been really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I think it's two things. I think Trae understands he needs Quinn to win,
yeah.
and Quinn knows he needs Trae if you're gonna try to win in Atlanta. And That relationship's been good. So what do you do if you're Atlanta?
You just can't. It's nobody on the market that can, like,
Come
take
and
Atlanta
support?
over. Yeah, like take Atlanta over the hump. You got to have a certain type of player to play with Trae Young. You need a lob threat, or you need a big that has the ability to stretch the floor.
Mhm.
And we haven't been able to get that in Atlanta. Like, I love our bigs. I love
Jalen.
everybody's cool. Like, it's just not a great fit right now, though. Like, D Hunt really doesn't play anymore. Dre, like, he need to play. I'm not gonna say he need to play more, but he don't play as much as he used to. So I'm sure he's a trade piece, but his contract is pretty steep. DeJounte and Trae, they're both great guards, but I don't know if they fit together.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if that's Trae needs the ball. Like, he's Luka. He's James Harden. He needs the ball. So you got to put guys around him
Mhm.
who can make shots, shot up, create their own shot here and there, but Trae gonna create it for him. And DeJounte, a guy, he's still getting 20 points a game, but he's a guy that I do this too. I don't think it's a great fit.
Speaking, you talking about one of the best trades in history. I feel like that Luka and Trae trade is
Oh,
still.
man.
I know, obviously, Luka's here, even though Trae's here, but that's still one of the better trades because both teams got a franchise player. But you did get a generational talent in Luka. I understand. I know it's different, but it's still like they didn't get a person who was a slouch either.
Nah, Trae.
Yeah. Trae Young is an all NBA caliber player
Nah,
too.
Trae Young is cold.
They've
But-
both been to the conference finals, though.
Nah, that's a fact.
That's a fact.
Both of them.
We played Trae Young in the conference finals.
Yeah, you had your
We beat
vendetta
him.
against
I
the
had
Hawks.
my bright spot in that series. He said, "What the fuck? You can't even shoot no more." It's like, damn, Trae.
What do you think about Milwaukee right now?
Fear the deer.
Fear the deer. My
Don't start
Bucks.
that shit.
The Bucks.
My Bucks. They in a rough patch right now. I think it's up and down. They still trying to find themselves. I think once Dame and Giannis get on the same page, like once Doc figures out how they want to work together. But I feel like they have to play separately. You know how like
Staggered the minutes.
yeah. I think they have to let Dame have his moment with the team, and then Giannis have his moment. And then once they do that, I think they'll find a good groove.
Like
Because
the
Dame,
Clippers.
because Dame's so
perfect.
talented offensively,
Yeah.
and Giannis so talented offensively. I think if you don't let them both have their moments where they the guy,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
ain't gonna work.
For sure.
Free
for
T
sure.
Nasty.
Who's that?
T Nasty. You gotta have T Nasty, bro.
The Nasties.
The Nastest.
Oh, T Nasty.
He's a missing link, bro.
He's a glue piece.
Oh yeah, he
Call him
definitely.
the glue is
He-
crazy.
He seems like a great teammate, though.
Nah, he is. He's an assistant coach for real though.
I'm rolling.
Nah, dead serious, bro. If
He
you
was a
on-
real Adrian Griffin.
He used to really like pull me to the side before the games and tell me what I needed to do.
Did you
I used
listen?
to be like, bro, I'm not about to play. Like, don't tell that to Drew or somebody. Like, he was like, no, when you get in, you need to do that. Nah, bro. You talking to the wrong dude, bro. I'm on this group project like you. Like,
I don't got no words for my
just
boy.
saying, that's what he did.
That's crazy. Now, I know that this was rumored, but LeBron possibly being the Warrior or them trying to make that happen is still crazy. But I still would love for that to happen one way or another. I would love to see a season of LeBron get to play with Steph. It would ruin the NBA, and I'm here for it.
I mean,
That would be crazy.
I don't think there was any chance LeBron James was leaving the Lakers
Not at all.
at the deadline, no matter who called.
Right.
But like this summer is gonna be interesting. He has a player option. At the end of the day, his future is in question just for the simple fact he's got a player option. We don't know what he's gonna do. Where does Bronny end up? Does Bronny declare? Does he get in the draft? Who drafts him? Like there's all these dominoes that have to fall before his player option. I believe his player option date is after the draft. So a lot of questions gonna be answered if Bronny comes out
He's brilliant, man.
he's
and
menace.
Bronny's in the draft. We're gonna like a lot of questions. Gonna like let's say Miami or whoever drafts Bronny, right?
Cleveland.
Then
That'd be crazy.
well, no, like does LeBron has said he wants to play with Bronny, but does that mean next season? Does that mean after Bronny's rookie year? Like there are a lot of questions that I think LeBron still has to figure out and spend second half of the season.
Yeah.
We still don't know how far that team's gonna go. We still don't know what's gonna happen with that team. Obviously, they got Spencer Dinwiddie on the buyout market. They didn't make any trades at the deadline. That was basically their trade.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be a good fit. Gabe Vincent trying to come back first week of March, potentially second week of March. We'll see if he makes it back. but they got to get healthy. Jared Vanderbilt has to get back in the lineup.
For sure.
And then if they get healthy, I mean, this team has a shot. I think they got to the Western Conference Finals last year. As long as the coaching staff players on the same page, I think they have a shot.
Yeah, I think LeBron can book that vacation a little bit earlier this year. Yeah.
But if Bronny gets drafted to Cleveland and LeBron go back to Cleveland, this is like a 2K story. Like,
2K.
it's not real.
That's
like,
the most-
this can't be real.
that would be the most toxic relationship of all time.
He'll fuck around and get drafted to the Lakers, bro.
Yeah, they gonna draft him. But
Yeah.
that's dope.
Going
So-
back to your ex twice is crazy. If LeBron go back to Cleveland, that's insane.
Well, 3 times, right? Started there, left, went
Yeah,
back.
so he went back twice. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's a lot of time. A lot of time back home.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
The NBA, hey man, we gonna really miss LeBron because ain't nobody else gonna be able to do the shit that he does and really like have everybody mind messed up for a whole year just off allegations.
Who do you guys think are like the next names? After LeBron, Steph, and
Anthony
KD?
Edwards, bro.
Hey,
AE's one of the guys. I think Shea. I think
MVP
Shea
Shea.
for sure.
yeah.
LaMelo.
Free LaMelo. He gotta get out of Charlotte though.
I don't know about LaMelo. I think he's a great player,
The
but
personalities with the game, bro. The game is changing.
but they're so bad in Charlotte. Like
They're-
you can't
they're
even
the bad news
appreciate his
for
game because
sure.
they're so bad.
I think for the first time in a while, Charlotte actually picked a direction though.
Yeah, but I'm
trading guys away, getting picks.
and Melo
And it
hasn't
took
been
so
playing.
long.
Really.
And yeah, he's been
You
out.
know what I mean?
He's been
Like-
out.
They got Trae Man though. I like that for them.
Yeah, he's playing really, really well. Grant
Yeah.
Williams, they got
Yeah,
when his value was low, and
Yeah.
he's
They
playing
hated
well.
him in Dallas.
Grant. I know what he was doing because I play with Grant. He's not a bad guy at all. He just probably was just talking the whole fucking time. He never shuts up. Like the whole day he talks. Like he wakes up talking. He'd be like, Grant, I don't care.
Yeah.
Grant, leave it alone, Grant.
He the first player to get a DNP for talking too much. They put that on the report.
So, literally, I knew it.
Nah,
He
but
always talking.
I think Luka and Ja gonna take over the league though.
That's one person. I like. Ja's absence was felt this year.
Yeah, man. When he came back, they were 6-3. They were rolling. It was unfortunate, man, with his injury.
Like they cannot play without him. Jaren Jackson is a totally different player without John Morant.
The whole team.
That whole
different.
team is.
But
But
he's an all-star though, bro. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, damn, you really need your guy.
He the heartbeat of the
function.
team. Like
Yeah.
he everything to the team.
Yeah.
But that's because his personality, the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think losing Dylan Brooks, even though they got my guy Marcus, who was a good player, he's been hurt too. But Dylan Brooks was like,
No,
he
you
gave him
right.
an edge.
Yeah, you right.
And it made him like almost like that Tony Allen, Mike Conley, Zebo kind of team.
but
You hope Smart gives you that once this team is whole again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of different. You know, like Smart came, he had that Boston lineage. Like Boston, they carried themselves a certain way.
yeah.
You walked in, your bags, your clothes nice. Then you get to this team with all these young dudes, they dancing. That ain't Smart. Smart ain't dancing. He not doing all that. He like a serious dude. Then you get with a team full of young guys dancing around. I don't know. Dylan Brooks just fit that. Like he
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah,
That's
you
why
right,
the
you
Rockets or a good team this year, you know, he brung that same energy with them, a bunch of young guys. He just fit in, bro. I
Turn
don't
him up.
know. I don't think they should have let him go. But
Yeah.
I want to ask you that question in reverse. Like, I mean, obviously outside of Wemby, we know how good he is. How you feel about some of the young rookies this year?
Chet, you know he's gonna be a beast for years to come.
Elite.
So who's your guys' rookie of the year?
I has to be Wemby.
It's light, Sean. That's it.
10 blocks, bro.
Statistically, I said this actually on air like last week, I think. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets a quadruple double. I think it's only a matter of time before he becomes the NBA league history leader in quadruple doubles. I think it's 4 guys with 1 quadruple doubles. He came 5 assists away from doing it in like 29 minutes. The other game. Like, I think it's only a matter of time. Once he starts playing 35 to 40 minutes consistently, like he's gonna get one, he's gonna get another one, and then we're gonna look up. He's at like 5 to 10 over his career. I mean, he could literally do everything. He could stuff the stat sheet. Chet, you have to give him a lot of credit. And then Brandon Miller, he's played really well.
He got game.
Like, he looks like a guy that can definitely be an all-NBA caliber
that
wing.
Terry Rozier trade opened the doors for him. He been killing.
Yeah, he's been cooking.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how Scoot Henderson develops. Obviously, point guard. Jeff, you play point. That's probably the toughest position
For sure.
mechanically, to understand. You've seen him make strides. One game, look really good. Next game, the team will struggle. it also it's tough for him not being on the team with
some more vets.
Yeah.
I mean, they got vets, but need better.
They the year one rebuild.
Yeah. Aiden funny as hell. I'll be watching his tweets. He's hilarious.
DNP, snowstorm.
That's crazy.
That's fire. Calling off an NBA is fire.
Nah, not really.
Have you ever seen that one?
No, that was the first time I seen that. I'm like, is this real? I didn't think it was real, but that happened to me in Atlanta, actually. I take that back. I couldn't get down the hill or up the hill in my car. I had a little BMW.
I think that's what happened to DeAndre Ayton is there was a steep hill.
Yeah.
And they were saying, basically, we can't allow you to come up or down. Like, it's just not safe.
Yeah.
And
no.
it's tough.
That happened to me in Atlanta. We had a snowstorm in Atlanta. You know, Atlanta.
How did you get out?
I didn't. They canceled the game, though. Yeah, they didn't have any. I couldn't move. I was stuck in the house for like 3 days. Atlanta don't prepare for snowstorms at all. So they didn't have no salt trucks, nothing. So the whole city was shut down. Lou Will actually left his Phantom on the side of the road. You should ask him about it.
I will.
Yeah, he left his Phantom on the side of the road. I was like, damn, you do that, we know we in trouble.
No,
he leave the Phantom out there?
Because ain't nobody come to get it. Dang, Teague, I didn't know you was the first.
Nah, I mean, they canceled the whole game, so
okay.
It was cool.
But the rest of your team got to work.
Yeah, some people was at the gym, but they ended up canceling it, though.
I mean, if it's a canceled game, you're good on all accounts.
Yeah,
you're good.
But hey, watching your team play from the crib, hey, y'all going crazy tonight. Hold it down. That's fire.
The first time I ever got injured, that's how I felt. They went on the road, and obviously you watching the game. I'm like, dang, they really out there without me.
Yeah.
I was sick. Dennis Schroeder was hooping too. I was like, fuck.
The rebuild.
Yeah, I was touching my ankle. I gotta get back. I can't let him start getting starter minutes, man. He gonna take my spot. Nah,
But on that note, we're going to get up out of here, big dog. Appreciate you
guys having me, man.
Appreciate you having me. Find you at, man.
JT, you can find me at The Athletic, on Stadium, FanDuel TV, running
Everywhere.
back.
Twitter,
Shams Charania. IG, I think Shams NBA. I love what I do. You guys love what you guys do, so it's all in the love of the game. So appreciate you guys having me, man.
Nah, thanks for
appreciate
having
you
me
being here.
Appreciate you, man.
Nah, it was a blast.
Hey, look, you know what it is? Club 520. We'll be back next week. Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. We appreciate y'all.